Hey guys, I'm John Barklow. I've been teaching survival at a professional level for almost 30 years now. That experience started teaching special operations forces how to live and thrive in dynamic, austere environments to go to Afghanistan back after 9/11. I was able to leverage that into the hunting industry. I currently develop clothing and gear for Sitka, but I also have a channel called Knowledge from Storms, which is really all about outdoor education and trying to take all my years of experience and all my lessons learned and all the mistakes and re-mistakes that I've made and help everyone kind of start a little higher up on the rung of the ladder. You know, as we're starting out, we need to think about this as a journey. I like to say that, you know, we're all students of the game trying to seek mastery that we'll probably, you know, never achieve, but it's a worthy goal. Backcountry hunting is a very difficult thing and it takes a long time to acquire all the skills and be able to put everything together to find success. While we're doing that though, we want to make sure that we're enjoying ourselves, we're enjoying that journey, we're working with friends, and we're really enjoying why we're out there and trying to focus on that. So these survival tips are really built to try to instill a little bit of interest that you and your partners can go and start digging in and start preparing this summer to get ready for fall. The mind is your #1 survival tool. Without a strong mind, it's easy during a tough situation to second guess your decisions and let it spiral out of control, potentially leading to a catastrophic outcome. It's normal when lost or hurt to have feelings of embarrassment or worry about friends or social media and what they may say that could cloud your judgment. But realistic and consistent training for the backcountry builds confidence and a positive mindset to stay calm and make good decisions. You need to train for the backcountry like your life depends on it, because at some point it might. No one has ever said that they're too prepared for a backcountry hunt. No matter how experienced you are, there's always something more to learn. Strive to become a student of the game with the goal of refining and mastering your craft. Exposure to the elements is a primary reason people panic in the mountains and call for a rescue. The truth is, no one likes being cold and wet. But with today's high-performing technical clothing, there's no reason you can't warm up and dry out. Now, this rewarming process may not always be fun or comfortable, but you shouldn't be fighting for your life or needing to panic. It's important to test your backcountry systems in worst-case scenarios in the off-season and learn their true capabilities to avoid panic. Understanding how your body loses heat allows you to use these natural processes to your advantage. In cold weather, this allows you to warm up and dry out. In hot weather, this allows you to dump heat and cool off. Understanding how your body responds to different environmental conditions allows you to pack differently and use what you have to stay more comfortable engaged in the field. Convective heat loss occurs when wind blows across your body. Now, if you're damp or sweaty, say from climbing hard to the top of a ridge, convective heat loss is accelerated. Now, this may work to your advantage on a hot day to cool down, but on a cold day, it's important to limit this heat loss with a wind shell or rain gear, especially when stopped glassing or in camp. Conductive heat loss occurs when your warm body, generally around 98.6 degrees, comes in contact with colder objects. Sitting on rocks, leaning against trees, or sitting on bare ground will strip away body heat. This is why sitting on a ground pad while glassing or laying down on one to sleep helps you both keep warm and comfortable. If you don't have a ground pad or are riding out a storm and say an improvised shelter, insulate yourself from the ground with a few feet of natural vegetation like pine boughs or moss to keep you as warm as possible. It's important for you and your partners to know the survival priorities to limit arguments in a stressful situation. You can remember them as the rule of threes. 3 hours without shelter, 3 days without water, and 3 weeks without food. Please note, fire is not one of your top 3 survival priorities. Clothing is your primary shelter and armor from the elements. Since the first caveman put on a loincloth, humans have relied on clothing for protection. Clothing has allowed us to explore the polar regions, climb to the highest peaks, and even walk in space. Because of this, technical clothing is your primary shelter, allowing you to quickly apply it and stay mobile, work, and move. I consider a Puffy Jacket a primary piece of my survival loadout. Because of its importance, I never go outdoors without some type of Puffy Jacket in my pack. The primary reason is because it efficiently traps your body heat in the loft of the insulation. When you're outdoors, you want to be stingy with body heat, and the Puffy Jacket is the perfect piece of clothing for the job. Now, a puffy is not meant for hiking or stalking, but when stationary, say sitting behind the glass for hours, hanging out in camp, warming up on a ridge, or when sleeping to supplement your bag's warmth. Rain gear is like car insurance. No one wants to use it, but you're glad you have it and bought the best you could afford when it's needed. Nothing but rain gear will keep you dry in persistent rain and snow. For this reason, I consider rain gear another part of my survival loadout and don't go in the backcountry without a set. Because of its importance, rain gear should ride in your pack in reserve and not be deployed until needed to avoid premature damage. Trust but verify. Don't take my word or anyone else's word for it that a piece of gear or a system works without testing it for yourself. Make sure the gear you use lives up to your expectations and meets your unique demands. Don't let the first time you realize your systems won't dry out or keep you warm is after falling out of a raft on a remote float hunt in Alaska. At this point, it's too late, and your oversight could cost you more than the hunt's success. The Possibles pouch is a toolbox you routinely work from to manage contingencies encountered in the backcountry. Now, some may call this a survival kit, but I prefer the name used by the fur trappers and mountain men. The term survival kit seems to imply it's only used in dire situations that we hope to never encounter. And because of that, it's usually the first thing that you leave behind. Ensure you train with your Possibles pouch and replenish it upon return from a trip to ensure it's always ready. The intent of a Possibles pouch is to keep you safe, self-reliant, and in the field. Now, a Possibles pouch should possess 7 primary capabilities. It should be able to make or provide a shelter. It should be able to produce clean, drinkable water. It should have the ability to acquire food. It should have the ability to create a fire. You should be able to signal both day and night to the air and ground. And it should provide for some basic medical needs and make minor repairs to your clothing and kit. There's 2 basic ways to carry your Possibles pouch. One method is to carry all the contents in one kit, ensuring you don't forget anything. Another way is to spread the contents around to several layers of clothing and equipment to ensure you always have at least something on you. I carry my kit in a fanny pack, allowing me to quickly grab it and strap it around my waist when going on a stalk, hiking to a glassy knob, or dropping down to a water source. I also carry a few redundant items like fire tinder, a lighter, a couple water purification tabs, and a small piece of signal panel, and my optics harness in case I get separated from my pack and pouch. What if weighs a lot. You can't plan for every contingency you can encounter in the backcountry, but you want to plan for some common issues like having to spend an unplanned night away from camp, a twisted or broken ankle, and medical issues like cuts, scrapes, and headaches. If your Possibles pouch is too big and heavy, it'll be the first thing you negotiate with yourself to leave behind. Your kit will naturally go through an evolution as you progress as an outdoorsman, from big and heavy to anemic, and eventually settle somewhere in the middle.